Hey guys, this is Arsenal Giants PS3 and this is episode 2 of season 1 of our FIFA 13 Return to Glory series with AFC Wimbledon. And first off guys, I just want to apologise that I am a little bit ill and my voice does sound a little bit nasally, so I do apologise about that. My voice probably sounds a little bit cringy, but nonetheless I am going to keep uploading as I am only a little bit ill, not really that much. So anyway, let's get back to the video itself. Now I do have these 3 friendly matches for this episode, and also this episode is going to be full up of transfer stuff. So first off, we're just going to be having a look at the squad. First off, there's really not a lot of positions where we really have to strengthen. Just overall, we need to bring in some young players with potential, and hopefully we can improve the squad over time. Just generally, there is a lot of squad depth, but they're all around the level like 50 or 60. They're not really that great, so we do need to improve that. And also guys, I have decided that I'm not going to be using the scouting network for this season. I'll probably use it next season, as to be honest, I don't really have the cash to just go splash it on some young players who are probably not going to be that good with the type of scouts I would recruit. So I'm going to leave this until next season if I do get promoted. If not, then I'll probably not use it next season either. But basically now I want to be flogging off a lot of players just so I can bring in some more players on loan, because generally speaking a lot of these players haven't got any potential and are just basically going to be a waste of space really. So I have listed a lot of players really. Some of them actually in the team can't be listed because they've only just joined the club, which is kind of frustrating really, but I just want to flog off as many as possible. So I have changed the wage budget to 100% wage just because I want to bring in players on loan. There isn't any point trying to purchase players because I don't have enough cash to bring in some real top quality players, and they probably wouldn't want to join me on a permanent basis anyway. So guys, last episode I asked you to leave a load of comments about what kind of players to bring in, and you guys left so many comments. Thank you so much for that. So what I have done is I've went through all of them and I've picked out a lot of players to add to this shortlist, and so I'm not going to be saying all of these. You guys can have a look at it, but generally I keep on saying generally, I apologise, but what I want to do is I want to fill out every position with an improved player, a player who can grow in potential and who is going to be a great player over time. I don't want to just focus on the midfield or the strikers or the defence. I want to kind of have a spread of young players all throughout the team so that over time each position is growing in overall status, and that, you know, I'm not just going to have an awful defence and great strikers or awful strikers and a great defence. I want to have that sort of core balance to the team. And this, guys, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I asked for 2 million quid from the board. They were never going to give me 2 million quid. I don't know, I was just really stupid. I thought, right, I do need some more cash to bring in some other players, and for some reason I thought, yeah, they'll be able to give me 2 million quid, and of course they turned that down instantly. They do not have £2 million to give me. I don't know why I even thought that. That was just really stupid from me. So I am going to be asking again for a little bit less this time. I'm only asking for 500 grand. It is to fight for promotion. I can't even come anywhere close to finishing quite high up in the domestic cup, so I'm only going to try and fight for promotion. 500 grand isn't exactly excessive. Maybe that's a little bit too much to ask for, and of course the board of directors have turned that down, and they thought that was a bit too much to take off them, so I'm going to have to ask for a little bit less in the future. But as you guys will see, I can't actually apply for any more in the future for some reason. I only applied twice and now I can't, so that's really frustrating. But now we are going to be bringing some players, and I apologise guys for my terrible pronunciation as always. I think the guy was Isekik, maybe Isekik. Again, I do apologise. And we have Matt Leconte, maybe. Oh, I'm so bad at pronunciation, sorry. We are bringing him in, but sadly Luke Shaw, considering he's only a left back, I'm not going to bring him in just yet, as he isn't really going to be a core player to the team, but hopefully I can bring him in the future and he'll be a great player. So next up we have Ake, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. He has massive potential and he is only 17 years old. Sadly his overall isn't exactly that high right now, but should grow very, very quickly. Next up is Depay, I think, but sadly I can't bring him because I've literally ran out of cash now. Also Serge Gnabry, I can't bring him in because I haven't got anything left at all. This bloke as well, Leon Goretzka, maybe. Oh god, these names are all so hard, or perhaps because I'm English I just can't pronounce anything. Cragno I can't bring in either, and Welbeck I also can't bring in. So these are the kind of players that I want to bring in the future, but sadly at this point in time I just can't do it. Also this bloke Pedro Azugi, that was just terrible, but hopefully I can also bring him in later on because he is a free agent, so he will always be available, or available for some time actually, and sadly I still don't have any money left. So also I'm not going to take over as any international teams. This is only about Wimbledon and taking them right back to the Premiership. and I do not want to take over as any international country. But back to Wimbledon now, and our predicted finish for the end of this season is to finish 15th. Now guys, I do not want to finish anywhere near 15th. That would just be a terrible season. We are going to improve the team, and hopefully we can try and challenge for that promotion spot. Otherwise this would be a terrible failure, and I have failed you guys. So our team has improved somewhat. We have brought in Ake and Asiekek and Goretzka. Oh my god, this is just a long list of player names I can't pronounce, but I'll try my hardest, and hopefully you guys can help me out. I'll try one last time. Asiek, oh my god, and Goretzka, oh my, and of course Matt Lissiant. Oh my god, oh, I just can't pronounce names. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my eye is just, I can't recognise when I'm supposed to pronounce something. I don't know, I just can't pronounce names. I've had it throughout time, unless I'm told how to pronounce something, and it has to be said to me. I can't just read it off a screen. As much as you guys keep telling me how to pronounce stuff, and I really appreciate it, I just can't understand it. Like, for example, on the AC Milan video, you guys were telling me how to pronounce Nocerino, and I think I finally cracked it. And forever I was going, Nocerino? No, what'd you say it? How'd you say it? And I was like, no, and you guys were saying, no, it's Nocerino, it's Nocerino. Why can you not understand? So I'm just like, I don't know, I can't understand player names at all. And I've tried throughout time, and I tried to really enunciate, I tried to add in accents, and it just goes horribly. So anyway, I hope you guys forgive me. I am trying to improve it, but you know, it's just so hard to get pronunciations right for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, back to the video now, and it is half time. 2-1 I'm not going to try pronouncing that one. That's just never going to happen. And we have played well so far. We've created a few chances really, and I am only showing goal highlights, so you can't see the entirety of the match because it is only a friendly and it's not really that important. But they do go 3-1 ahead here, and defensively I'm just playing so terribly. But maybe it's because I haven't actually played FIFA in like 2 weeks or something like that. But we do manage to get a penalty here, and I'm not really sure if it is a penalty, to be honest, as Matt Lissiant runs through on goal. It's a great pass actually from Isiek, and to be honest, I don't think it's a really penalty. That the player comes across here, just about manages to sort of nick the ball. He does sort of drag him to ground a little bit, but it's not really a penalty to me. And Matt Lissiant steps up, he does put it in the back of the net. It is a pretty good finish, but you know, there are still problems to be solved really defensively. We are conceding too many goals, and also, you know, we're a little bit insecure at the back really. But this is a lovely passing move here, and to be honest, I was actually quite surprised by the passing ability of the team thus far. And this is a great passing move, and Harrison, just on the edge of the area, manages to find the bottom left hand corner. But you have to say really, although it was a pretty good finish from Harrison, the goalkeeping was pretty terrible. But now, still on the attack, the ball whipped in, and Ibrahim hits off the post, and it comes out to the store floor, and it is a pretty good finish there. An open goal, and again, defensively very, very poor. So at full time, it is 3-4 to Stomgodset, if, it's not if, but you know. And still, the man of the match was Harrison. He got a 9.6 actually, while Lecomte got an 8.7. So some pretty good match ratings there in terms of our strikers. And as you can see, we can't actually request any more money from the board of directors, so we're just going to have to hope that somebody sells, and then we can bring in some players. And luckily enough, we do manage to sell someone. It is this guy Seb Brown. He is only 22 years old and does have an overall of 59, but I just have to sell somebody. I'm selling him a little bit under value, I know, as there's a lot of problems here, but I really wanted to sell some players so I can bring in some other players to improve the team. And this Seb Brown bloke probably isn't ever going to play. Yeah, he might go up a few levels, but honestly, he's never going to play if I can bring in somebody like Kraglow. So anyway, you know, on to our second match now against Copenhagen. And honestly, guys, I'll tell you now, this is again a very poor display defensively. So much so that I'm not going to go into detail about it. You can see where the problems are, and instead I'm going to be talking about someone else. So what I'm going to be talking about is what I hope from this series and what we might see in the future. So first off, just to be quite general about it, is that I want to take this team to the Premiership, as I've said beforehand, but I want to kind of fill out the entire team with great potential players. Now, at this point in time, I hardly have any cash at all. Like, I can bring in another 3 players on loan perhaps by selling that Seb Brown bloke, but apart from that, I can't bring in anybody else on loan. And then of course we're going to have the problem at the end of this season when everybody returns to their club, and I'm going to be stuck with like no players at all. So that could be a problem at this point in time. But what I want to do is try to get promoted to the next division, try to get promoted to League One, and then after that I can then try and purchase some of these players with great potential and try and loan in some others, because as you get promoted you're going to earn a lot more cash. You know, you're going to get like TV licensing and all that good stuff, and then hopefully, from that we can then purchase players, we can loan in other players and keep on improving. I'm probably not going to get promoted this season unless I bring in a lot more players and they increase like massively, but if I don't manage to do that, then we're going to be stuck in League 2, which I do not want to do. I do not want to stay here for more than I have to, because for you guys it might get repetitive, it might get a bit uninteresting. Sure, we're going to have a lot of players growing in potential, but just think what might happen if they improve massively over the season and then their parent club isn't going to let them go out on loan next season. I will be just screwed unless I bring in other players, but then I'm just going to be improving other players and not improving as a team myself. So you can kind of see my conundrum at this point. I do need to bring in some players as I purchase them, and I can't just keep on loaning in players. But for this point, while I have like no money at all, I have to try and loading in players. So as you can see, Seb Brown has been sold, and I'm only going to get 80 grand of that 90 grand I sold him for, so that is quite disappointing. But we're going to go into our last match now against Novara, and honestly this match is pretty uninteresting in itself. There are a few chances of the first half, but then it is half time, nothing happens at all, and then there is something pretty interesting after that. So again, I'm just going to be talking about what I hope for this series, because it is only the friendlies, nothing interesting really happens, and it's only really about growing players and see what kind of formation you want to play in the future. And if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, I would love to hear from you guys. It'd be great to get a second opinion. Obviously I've never done this sort of series before, so I don't know what sort of players have potential, what sort of players are going to improve, what players are going to be good to use even if they have a high overall. Just anything like that would be really helpful to me, as I've never done this before. I've never tried taking over as like a really small club and trying to take them to the Premiership. A lot of people, and you guys as well, have done that in the past, and it would just be great to hear some feedback, as I haven't got any idea. So again, really, what we just have to do is try bringing in players on loan to improve the team, and this is a terrible mistake, by the way. All over this is just atrocious. He goes through and goal, and then Asik just completely takes him out. It is a penalty and also a red card. It's just, awful. But still, we have to bring in players on loan. We have to improve the team, and hopefully I can sell a few more players before the end of the transfer window. I do not want to be stuck with the same players over and over again, just sort of hoping that these players keep on improving, because yeah, they'll improve and then that'd be brilliant, but still, you're just going to be stuck with the same players from Wimbledon. I mean, if these kind of players from Wimbledon do have potential, that'd be brilliant, because you can use them in the series. I kind of want to include all players that are around the age of 20 or under, just so, they can be involved in the project. But still, we have unfortunate instances like this where Johnny's out injured for 3 months, so I'm going to have to bring in somebody to replace his position. But at this point in time, I can only bring in the players which I really have to, and I am going to bring in Cragno to replace the goalkeeper. He is a great player with potential, 18 years old and already 60 overall, so hopefully he'll be a really good player for us in this season. And also this bloke, Arlind Ajeti, centre-back, and of course has great potential. But as you can see now, I've got nothing left. I have no money left at all, and I'm just going to have to hope that somebody is sold, and then I can bring in some other players from that cash. But now, just quickly having a look through the squad report, I'm not going to go through any of these players individually. I'm just going to sort of flick through them. But as you can see, a lot of them have already improved, and not just the players I've brought in on loan, but also the players who are already at the club, which is great to see. That I just want all the players to improve, not just like 3 levels and then stagnate for the rest of the season. I want them to keep on improving steadily through the season. And so just a last look at the squad now. In goal we have Cragno, then at right back Osano, then at right centre back we have Ajeti, Ake, Fenlon, Ajaya, Asiek, Goretzka, Long, Harrison and Leconte. And of course we do have to replace this Long bloke. He is not a natural left-sided midfielder, and also we want to replace that Agela bloke at right mid. He is awful. Though he's a high overall, he's terrible. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could leave a thumbs up, that'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you very much for watching.